Recording in progress.
Colleagues, my watch is indicating that it's already 10 o'clock. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you all, members of the Select Committee, officials from the municipalities in our provinces, as well as our support team in the NCOP. We have a long agenda for today, so we need to move with speed. I have received 2 apologies from Honorable MECs. MEC Bradal from Western Cape, he indicated prior commitments. And 2, I've received an apology from MEC Buthelezi from KZN, who indicated that since we have received floods over the weekend for the past week, he is now engaged in meeting the victims of those floods with other MECs. He could not be able to leave that commitment. So those are the 2 major apologies that I wanted to indicate. Mr. Manele, are we having any other apologies?
Yeah, good morning, Chairperson. Chair, we've got only 1 apology from Honorable Madibeng. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. In terms of the quorum, I hope that we are correcting. I see when I call members, can you please indicate by your voice so that I can see that it's not your computer, it's you who's on the platform. Let me check our whip, Honorable Molokome. Let me check Honorable Mumang.
I'm here, Chair. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Whip. Honorable Mumang. Honorable Peter.
I'm here, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Zimande. Honorable Bedenost.
Good day, Chair. Present.
Thank you. Honorable Skill Kocher.
Good morning, Chair. I'm present.
Thank you very much. Honorable Makesini.
Present, Chair. Morning.
Thank you. Honorable Keza.
I'm present, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Priyat.
Thank you, Chair. I almost thought you had forgotten about me. I am present.
I couldn't do that. Thank you. Unzinyati, are you back? Honorable Unzinyati? Okay. We do have a quorum. We can proceed. Other members, I think they are still experiencing.
I'm also here. Greetings to yourself, Chairperson.
I'm here,
Thank
Chair.
you, Honorable Shukri.
Recording in progress.
Yeah.
Thank you. Honorable Unzinyati, are you back?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Chair. Honorable Chairperson.
Yes, I was just still checking the attendance.
No, thanks, Chair.
I hope that we do correct. Members will recall that the previous meeting was deferred on the basis of non-availability of MEC Buthelezi from KZN. Being mandated by a good self, so I wrote him a letter reminding him of his responsibility to come and account before this committee. I also met him personally during the provincial week activities at the legislature. I reminded him that it's important for him to be here. He did commit to come and attend this meeting, and he apologized that he couldn't leave the executive since it was Wednesday. And I did indicate to him that when you are called by Parliament, you can even delegate your HOD in the executive when there are issues or any other MEC, and ascertain that your attendance is guaranteed in Parliament. So he did apologize on that, but we experienced these floods in the province last week. This is the new apology that he has tendered before this committee. But I can allow Honorable Keza to come in.
No, Chair, thank you very much, Chair. I was here when the committee unanimously deferred the meeting to after the provincial week, Chair. And I think we are together in sympathy with the families that were affected by floods, Chair, and hope that the disaster management actually comes into play in terms of assisting the members of the community in the disasters of KZN. And for purpose of consistency, Chair, that the meeting resolved that, amongst other things, we want to ask, because the termination of Section 139(1)B is a political decision, and therefore it required us to not engage with officials, but with the political head of the department. And therefore, for us, we, as much as we sympathize, and I think I speak for everyone, because we're human beings, Chair, with the MSC, we, for the purpose of consistency, we therefore defer this item so that when we engage, there are many issues pertaining to the TOR that we want to deal with, Chair, TORs, and there are issues of Section 154 that we want to deal with very patiently, and issues of the termination itself, while the water service authorities are still having outstanding triggers, Chair. So we want to get to the bone of, or the marrow of the situation as much as we can in terms of detail, so that the committee therefore does not get to a point where we repeat the same issues, where we allow an MSC not to be part of a meeting on 2 occasions, understandably, the second one being the KZN floods. But for the sake of consistency, the committee, I think, must, from a principled position, have this to not allow it to happen again. Across all provinces, across all municipalities, Chair, where we need a political head of a municipality to account, or an MM, or whoever, must be part of the meeting, so that we ask the right questions and we ask the right questions to the right people. That's my submission for today, Chair. Thank you very much.
Yes, as I'm still going to be taking other hands, I would like to persuade members of the committee, firstly informed by the activities of this committee, which really, in terms of our schedules, is fully packed. So if we keep on postponing or deferring matters that may affect our functionality and how we are living true to our schedule for the year. Secondly, I think it is in the best interest of this collective leadership, since we've been persuading provinces that they need to prioritize Section 154 instead of 139s, because 139s really, they are not impactful as envisaged. So we can't delay such a migration, a movement where the province will be supporting fully those municipalities instead of Section 139. So I would like to persuade you members, as you are still going to be making your contributions, that indeed, let's consider this, the acting HOD is here and from the province, and we also consider the Western Cape Section 106 presentation from those officials delegated by the MPC. Let me take hands. Honorable Mzimande, you are the next, followed by Honorable Skid Copper, Honorable Peter, and Honorable Miman. Thank you. In that order, please.
No, thanks, Chair, and your point is definitely valid. However, I guess for a purpose not only of being consistent, but the matter really requires the accounting of the executive authorities, which are MECs, both matters of Western Cape and that of KwaZulu-Natal. and no pressure that much in KwaZulu-Natal because they've already spoken of termination. As a result, therefore, Chair, I suggest that really we can't continue like as I say, or Honorable Treza is saying, with a meeting in the absence of the two executive authorities. We can only really consider the issue of even holding a meeting virtually on Friday if the two executive authorities will be available. I don't think they'll be tied up on all these days without, and not get an opportunity. So as we coordinate another meeting, let's check their availability, then we then set up the date so that we also address your concern. Thank you. But the meeting, in my viewpoint and in support of Honorable Treza, we should just be consistent. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Kgetlengrivier.
Thank you, Chairperson. No, I want to concur with the two speakers of Honorable Kgetlengrivier, and I hear what you say. Our program is really full, but especially on the 139s, it's very much political, and even though if we do not continue with it, it might just lapse and they might continue and go on. 106, I think we can still consider it because that's not a political decision, as Honorable Chris say. It's an administrative, pointing out fraud and corruption and those things. So those can go on, but there's very much pertinent questions which we raised in the previous meeting where the MEC must answer on timelines. It started on the 15th of June and then in the middle of August, all of a sudden everything is okay. So I want to say that for the 106, and looking at the presentation that we gave, it was clearly what is happening there, and it followed the due processes through the Systems Act and all of the procedures. So 106, one of the Western Cape, I feel that the staff could answer, but the 139, definitely I think we need to defer. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Peter.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, mine is to support Honorable Treza and uMzinyathi based on the fact that on the fact of the consistency. Because why I'm saying this, Chair, what was the reason for this committee to defer the previous meeting due to the absentia of the MEC? I therefore support fully, Chair, that through the decorum of this select committee, its dignity has to be maintained so that whoever may do the same what has been done by the minister due to his commitment. Also, he has to recognize the dignity of this select committee. I therefore, Chair, sharing the same sentiments with the honorable members that we cannot carry on with this meeting. I thank you.
So you were referring, Honorable Peter, to the MEC, not the minister?
I'm sorry, sir.
Okay.
Both, Chair.
All right. Thank you. The next member is Honorable Mwimang.
Chair, thank you, Chairperson, for the opportunity. I want to align myself with the proposals that you made, Chair. Given the fact that we have a valid reason which was necessitated by the disaster that was followed, that was experienced by the province, and therefore your interaction with the MECs during the the provincial week, impressing upon him about the concern that the committee had. Was driven home, but more than that, as per the resolution of the committee, we were able to make a representation through written representation to the MEC on behalf of this committee, and therefore I want to propose that as a committee we also need to be a bit cautious so that the work of the committee must not be held back through reasons advanced, because if we do that, also then it impacts on the oversight work that we need to do over local government, because we're instrumental in placing these municipalities under Section 139 as an integral part of it, as per the legislation requires. And where a representation is made by the province that the triggers to a larger degree were dealt with, let's be proactive in stabilizing the municipalities. We need to be at the forefront of ensuring that there is stability and predictability in terms of leadership, as facilitated by the intervention. So if we don't do that, we run the risk of prolonging uncertainty at the sphere, on the sphere that we're supposed to pay too much attention to by virtue of its proximity to our people. And more so given the fact that from the presentations, the move from the provincial government is that those interventions is no longer necessary. We allow that process to continue. I'm raising this point also by virtue of the fact that in terms of our program, effectively from the 4th of December, which is next week, the only committees that will be sitting will be the committees of appropriation and finance, and therefore that would mean that this matter will be prolonged right into the new financial year. We might propose Friday, but we also have commitments for Friday. There's no guarantee that the HOD, the MEC will be available for Friday. So therefore, I want to propose that we accede to the request that the chairperson of the committee has made. Thank you, Chair, in allowing the presentation to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mumang, Honorable Makasini, followed by the whip of the committee, Honorable Molokom. Honorable Makasini, the mic is yours. It looks like she's no longer on the platform. Let's wait for her, and but she's still here. Honorable Makasini, can you unmute and make your contribution? Okay. Honorable Molokome, you can come in.
Oh, thank you, Chairperson. I'm not sure if my camera is working.
Yes, it is working. We can see you, although we can see you being cut into a small photo, but it's fine. Okay, it's fine.
No, thank you very much, and good morning to your good self and honorable members and our officials. No, Chair, I just want to check something with you, because the committee took a decision for you to write to the MEC, and I believe that the response was supposed to be in writing from the response, even though I heard that you have met with him and he has promised. I think we should have that commitment also in writing, so that even in future we can be able to hold him accountable to say you have promised to come and attend the committee. Then if he's not attending in future, we have something that is in writing. To Chair, I'll pursue the members of the committee, more especially on the reasons that you have given, and also what the Chief Whip has elaborated more on in terms of our program starting from next week. And I don't think we'll want this meeting to prolong to next year. I think our program will be will have more of the activities and will be dealing with the issues of the budget and so forth. So I think even Friday we have meetings of the joint committees, and we are not even sure if the MECs will be able to attend on Friday. So I'm playing to the members of the committee if we can continue with this two items that needs the MECs to be present. And also I think next year we'll still have our meeting. I don't think we will still have the MECs in the meeting. And if members of the committee feel strong that the MEC special of the KZN is not coming to the meeting, we can still call him to Cape Town for a physical meeting, so that we can be able to raise the issues with him while he's seated and with us in the meeting. So I'm proposing, Chair, that we continue, more especially that the items deals with supporting the municipalities, and these are the terminations. I know that we will want to ask the political questions, but let's consider not hold these municipalities ransom because of the unavailability of the MEC. And the reason given now, Chair, of the floods that is happening, I think is a valid reason, and we also sympathize with the people of KZN. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Anan Makesini, are you back?
I'm back, Chair. No, my apology. I had to cut. No, Chair, I can't agree more with honorables, three honorable Doctor and Honorable Zimande. As much as I hear you on your persuasion and the issue of the floods, which is one thing that unforeseen. But if you allow Red, we are not consistent to allow the situation to continue. Problem of South Africa every day will be a problem. We can continue if collective, that's what we are saying, but I don't think we will be consistent. We are doing well if we are allowing the MEC of KZN especially not to come to the meeting. Because the last time we didn't get exactly what was his apology. It's only this time where we understand his apology. And he's the one who wanted us to deal with this political matter. He cannot deal with the political, he cannot address us in the political decision through the administrators. But if that's what you are persuaded as a collective, but I don't think we are doing justice for the people of South Africa. The MEC of KZN, it doesn't need even to come to Cape Town, Honorable Mulukume, to appear, because it's going to use the taxpayers' money. He must just make time when he wants concurrence to the NSOP and be available, even if it's 10 minutes, then he can be released and do the issue of the disaster. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe what we can do, honourable members, is to agree that in the meantime, let's take Western Cape presentation on Section 106, and we request the HOD to look for the MEC and request the MEC where possible to come and make some introductory remarks and respond to one or two questions when there are questions, so that we can proceed. Because really, if we are going to be considering this next year, Friday is not possible. It's not going to be possible to meet on Friday on the basis that joint committees as well as other members will be engaged in other activities. So whilst we are considering what Western Cape will be presenting, let's request HOD to look for the MEC and we'll get a response from there. Is that agreed, members?
Agreed, Chairperson, correct.
Yes, Chair.
Okay, thank you. HOD, can I release you for now to try and do that whilst we are engaging on the Western Cape presentation? Thank you. Let then welcome the, can we get a mover with that proviso that if the MEC can join us, we'll proceed. But we are taking Western Cape. Can you get a mover for the adoption of the agenda with that amendment?
I move, Chairperson.
I second, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Let's then move. Let's welcome the officials from the Western Cape Provincial Government to, I don't know, Mr. Manele, whether they are already here or they were assuming that their presentation will be late. Mr. Manele?
Chairperson, from the Western Cape, we've got Deirdre Folioen, Sandra Krillin, and Doreen van Zyl. Maybe they can identify themselves so that the admin can make one of them a co-host so that they can control their presentation, Chairperson. Thank you.
Okay. We really appreciate if they are already here. Let's welcome you, delegation from the Western Cape government. You can indicate so that the team can give you the rights to be the host.
Good morning, Chair and members. I'm Sandra Krillin. I'm going to ask Deirdre, who's going to do the presentation for you, if you could possibly make her the co-host. She's 5630164 on your screens.
Ms. France and Dr. Mtimkulu, are you able to give that right?
We have given the right, Chairperson.
Thank you. The rights have been granted. Over to you. The mic is yours. You can start making your presentation. Thank you.
Good morning, honourable members. Good morning, fellow colleagues. Thank you for the opportunity and invitation extended to Province to brief members on our Section 106 investigation at the Bitou Municipality. If you'll just give me a few seconds, let me just share my presentation with you. Thank you, Chairperson. If I can just confirm with all members that you are able to see the presentation.
Yes, we can see the presentation. You can give us your title as well in the province.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, my name is Deirdre Folioen. I am a Deputy Director in the Provincial Department of Local Government. I report into Dr. Krillin as the Chief Director. And we apologize for the absence of our MEC and our HOD this morning. As Chairperson indicated, they have had previous engagements already arranged. So, Chairperson, if you would allow me to continue the presentation, We did send it through quite late, so apologies if some of the members haven't seen it yet, but I will run through it quite quickly. So, Chair, if you can just give me a few minutes to run through the presentation. Chairperson, yes, so the investigation background is that it was initially...
Chairperson?
Yes, Honorable Chaza.
Just for clarity, Chair, who initiates Section 106 in the province to the municipality?
Don't you think that you can allow her to present, then as part of your questions, you'll be covered there?
It's okay, Chair.
Yeah, okay. You can proceed, ma'am.
Thank you, Chairperson. Through you, Chair, just for a brief background, this investigation was initially based on allegations that were reported at the municipality. The municipality appointed an external forensic firm to conduct the investigation in around December 2017. During this initial investigation, there were additional allegations that had come to a fore, and these allegations had implicated some senior members and some councillors in the municipality. These allegations were then addressed to the department and to the province. The allegations were then assessed by a minister's office in and around April 2018, and it was determined that the allegations warranted further investigation, and a Section 106 investigation was then initiated by the Provincial Minister, MEC Burdell, and two external forensic investigators were then designated in July 2018 to conduct the investigation. This investigation was then concluded in and around March 2019, and their forensic report detailing their findings and their recommendations were then presented to Minister Burdell for his consideration. Chairperson, the phases of the investigation were categorized into 16 different phases. This included both the planning phase as well as the reporting phase. The allegations were then also further categorized into the remaining 14 phases of the investigation. I'll just briefly take the committee through the findings of these 14 allegations, or the 14 different phases. Phase 2 was an initial review of certain allegations regarding conflicts of interest. There were a number of officials, including senior managers and the previous municipal manager, that were found to have failed to declare their business interests. There were also a number of councillors that were found to have failed to declare their business interests. This was in contravention of both the Code of Conduct of Municipal Officials as well as the Code of Conduct of Councillors. And the officials had also contravened certain sections of their SEM policy. Phase 3 dealt with certain misleading statements and dishonest statements by Ms. Vuyokazi Mbalani. She initially, when she applied for the municipal manager position at the municipality, had indicated that there had been a disciplinary process and that it was mutually agreed to terminate her position at the previous municipality. However, following the investigation, the investigators actually found that she had been dismissed for misconduct and that she had not disclosed this in her application when she applied at the Bitou municipality as the municipal manager. Phase 4 was with regards to mismanagement of the grant in aid fund. The allegation was substantiated. It was found that there had been mismanagement of this grant in aid fund. The former executive mayor, Mr. Peter Lubisi, was found to have abused his position to further the political party at that stage. The office of the executive mayor had also failed to comply with Section 67 of the MFMA as far as this relates to grant in aid. And also the investigation found that Mr. Thabo Ndlovu, as the former MM, had also failed to ensure that there were adequate controls in place, which also did not comply with aspects of the municipality's grant in aid policy. Phase 5, allegation related to certain building material. It was alleged that building material had been procured, but that some of the building material had not been used for the purposes it was procured for. This allegation was investigated, but there was no support or no evidence to support this allegation. It was unsubstantiated. Phase 6 alleged that a 10,000 Rand bribe had been solicited by Mr. Makaya Mana from a service provider known as Kgetlengrivier. The allegation was that this 10,000 Rand was then used to fund an event which had already been funded by the municipality previously. The investigation found that although a payment of 10,000 Rand had been solicited by Mr. Mana from Kgetlengrivier, this was not used for a municipal or an official municipal event. Rather, this was for a private event hosted by Mr. Makaya Mana at the Dunes restaurant. Phase 7 was with regards to an allegation that certain councillors and certain officials had established a scheme to enrich themselves for their own private entertainment. Again, this allegation was substantiated. The investigators found that a number of officials as well as certain individuals, including Mr. Makaya Mana, Dalukolo Nkami, and Stanley Uris, were all involved in a scheme at various restaurants throughout Plettenberg Bay, where they had consumed alcohol and had asked staff at these different establishments to then alter the invoices so that the costs spent on spent on the alcohol would then be invoiced as meals and not as alcohol. This was also an attempt by Mr. Thabo Ndlovu to do the same at the Lookout restaurant. However, at this point, the management of the restaurant had identified that Mr. Ndlovu had asked that this also be done and had insisted that he then settle the bill with his credit card. Phase 8 was with regards to an allegation that a bribe had been solicited while the municipality had advertised the tender. It was initially alleged that a Mr. Vincent Mkefa associated with the CFO's office had solicited a bribe and that requests had been made for the bribe to be paid into a certain bank account. Verification of the account holder of this bank account found that there was no association with Mr. Vincent Mkefa and did, however, identify that the account holder was a Mr. Wasani Gaibono Mokhale. No further association or link could be made to Mr. Vincent Mkefa, so this allegation too was unsubstantiated. Phase 9 relates to allegations that there were a number of ghost companies that had been appointed by the municipality, that these ghost companies were in some way related to the former executive mayor, and that these companies had been paid for services that had not been rendered. The allegation that there was some form of association between these companies and the executive mayor were found to be substantiated. There was also suggestion and evidence to show that not all services that they had been procured for had been rendered, or that these had been rendered irregularly. And in most instances, the appointment processes did not comply with the SCM policy or the SCM regulations. Phase 10 related to the mismanagement and maladministration in the HR department. Again, most of these allegations were substantiated. It was found that the revised recruitment and selection policy was ignored when certain staff were appointed. The investigators found that many other staff had been seconded or transferred within the municipality without following due process. Certain temporary employees had been made permanent without following any due process. In many instances, these temporary employees did also not have the sufficient skills or expertise for the posts that they then occupied in a permanent capacity. In several instances, some of the temporary employees had been appointed based on instruction municipal officials had received from councillors. And one of the last findings made by the investigators was that the HR files were disorganized and were missing pages and therefore did not comply with Section 67 of the Systems Act. Phase 11, the allegation related to an Absa bank loan that was authorized and signed by Ms. Vuyokazi Mbalani. The allegation was that Ms. Mbalani was not duly authorized to do so. It was alleged that she had been appointed as the acting MM by Mr. Thabo Ndlovu, and that this appointment had not been ratified by council, which was a minimum requirement. And as such, the allegation was substantiated that Ms. Mbalani was not authorized to enter into the Absa loan agreement on behalf of the municipality, as she had not been correctly appointed as the acting MM at that time. Phase 12 of the investigation related to allegations that stationery had been purchased from a P&A in Plettenberg Bay, and that this was using municipal funds. The investigation found that this allegation was not substantiated, although stationery had been purchased by Mr. Makaya Mana. It was not based on expenditure related to the municipality, but rather on behalf of the Plet Tourism and the KwaNokuthula Community Forum. Phase 19, it was related to HR irregularities. This allegation could not be fully substantiated. The investigators found that there had been a dispute of fact between what the whistleblower who chose to remain anonymous had reported, and evidence could not be found to substantiate this. The allegation was then referred to SAPS for further investigation, as the investigators did not have any further means to continue with the investigation into this allegation. The second last allegation was phase 14. This related to the rental of an official vehicle for the former executive mayor. It was alleged that although the monthly rental amounted to approximately 60,000 Rand a month, the rental agreement was split into bi-weekly payments, keeping them under 30,000 Rand, so that the procurement processes could be circumvented. The allegation was substantiated. It was found that the Volvo XC90 motor vehicle rented for the executive mayor had been paid every 2 weeks in installments of 30,000 Rand, and that there was intentional circumvention of the SEM policy. It was also found that Mr. Thabo Ndlovu, as the former MM, and Mr. Pedro Peters, the manager of the supply chain management unit at that stage, had failed to comply with the SEM policy and also their regulations, resulting in irregular and fruitless and wasteful expenditure of just over 191,000 Rand. The final investigation phase was related to an allegation that personal security expenditure had been incurred for Mr. Peter Lobisi, although this was not necessary. This allegation was found to be substantiated. The investigators determined that 2 security assessments had been conducted. One was by SAPS and one was by the municipality's own law enforcement. Both entities found that there was no security threat to Mr. Lubisi, although payments for personal security continued. The allegation indicated that the amount was approximately 180,000, although in the investigation determined this was 120,000 instead. Also, the payments were authorized by Mr. Thabo Ndlovu, and during the time of the assessment, despite recommendations by SAPS that Mr. Lubisi could remain in his mayoral house, he did not, and instead Mr. Mana was housed in the mayoral house and was not liable for any rental or any expenditure related to services. Chairperson, the way forward following the finalization of the investigation was that a report was tabled to MEC Bradell. The report provided details regarding these 15 allegations and their findings, as well as a number of recommendations that were made by the investigators. One of the recommendations at the time was that the municipality take legal action with regards to the appointment of Ms. Mbulani to have her employment contract terminated. They also recommended that criminal conduct be reported to SAPS, and further recommendations were made for the MEC's consideration to determine whether any of the findings or the situation at the municipality warranted any further intervention by province. Some of the recommendations, the main recommendations were that the municipality take disciplinary action against those officials and or councillors that were implicated in the report, that criminal action be reported to SAPS, that the municipality address some of the expenses incurred by pled tourism for food and entertainment costs on behalf of officials, councillors and their families, and also that the undue and unlawful influence of certain councillors over the recruitment and selection process be addressed. Chair, then what happened subsequent to that, possible criminal conduct was reported to SAPS. 2 criminal matters were registered under the 2 CAS numbers, 14 of 4/2018 and 42 of 9/2018. Both matters are still under investigation by the Hawks. With regards to civil action, recommendations were made to the municipality in terms of regulations 3 and 4 of the municipal regulations on financial misconduct, that the expenditure be recovered from the municipal officials implicated in the report. The municipality had appointed attorneys, and the civil action was then managed by the municipality from then. The municipality was also required to consider instituting disciplinary action for those officials and or councillors that were still at the municipality. Again, the municipality appointed external attorneys, and the disciplinary action, where possible, was initiated by the municipality. And then finally, Chairperson, the department also referred some of the findings and the recommendations to the AGSA for their consideration and further assessments that were to be conducted at the municipality. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much for a detailed presentation. We are now going to call upon members of the Select Committee to ask questions and engage the presentation as being presented before us. And as a team, you'll respond to those questions. We'll take 2 members, raise their question and allow you to respond. Then we take another set of 2 members in the groups that they'll be raising their hands. Let's then check members, your hands. I see Dr. Skirkocher. I see Honorable Keza, you'll be the first ones. Honorable Keza and Dr. Skirkocher, followed by Honorable Peter, whom I've just recognized his hand, and Honorable Makesini. Let's take the first 2, Dr. Skirkocher, followed by Honorable Keza, in that order.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you for the presentation. My first question is, you said that the whistleblowers want to stay anonymous. I just want to say, was it people within the municipality? Was it people from the community? And how were they treated? Because that's something that we want to also know as a best practice. So that's my first question. The second question is, I see that this was something that they appointed investigators. So we've come across this committee quite recently. We've had a couple of 106, and I would wonder if your committee could maybe ask I think you said it's private people, to just compile a report on best practice on what was their successes and how did they get to 106, because sometimes we get 106s that are done through the department and they never come to a conclusion. So I think it would be good for us to learn, because 106 is sometimes connected to 139s, 154s, all of these things, or even helps for MEC to later promulgate 105 of the System Act's mechanisms to solve these kind of things, because this fraud and corruption happened because the internal
mechanisms wasn't in place or to prevent this fraud from happening. So I think that would be something that you can send with us afterwards. Then I've got actually only 2 questions. I know that Bitou has a history of municipal managers that there's a problem because, for example, Mr. Nobo that was dismissed in 2012, and then he was reappointed in 2019. During his appointment, was he anywhere involved with the appointment of these officials? Because he was fired at Bitou in 2012 for corruption, and then I think it's 2021, his court case came out, and then he resigned just before the court case claimed that he is guilty. So I just want to see if that's during that period. And then my last question is, I see that this started in 2017, ma'am, and we had 2025. I just want to find out what was the constraint, or why did it take so long to actually come to this? Because I know there is a lot of funds and internal money that has been spent. So I just want to see what was the hiccups and why did it take so long to come to this conclusion? If you see at what they were alleged, they didn't seem that it is, for a lack of better words, not that complicated. So I just want to find out what were those kind of things. And then I think that's what I have for now. I think I might have follow-ups, Chairperson, but I think I'm going to save my time for later. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Kaiser.
No, thank you very much, Chair. The reason why I asked the very first question is to who, because I believe that the MEC is a political principal responsible for the initiation of Section 106 of the Systems Act, Chair. Just at which point, being my first question, Chair, just at which point did the MEC interpreted the findings, and what his remedial actions in terms of the ones that are outstanding, the 15 allegations, that the total number of 15 allegations that you have, how many has he found on, and how many have been substantiated of that 15, and how many have not been substantiated, and what is the legislation saying about what is the recourse in terms of the ones that are not substantiated, Chair. My second question, Chair, is that of the triggers the MEC to invoke this Section 1006 of the Systems Act in the municipality. Can you provide the proof, or rather documentary proof, to cushion the information that is coming from the whistleblowers, and actually protect the whistleblowers in terms of ensuring that those people keep coming without being vulnerable to being, we don't want a situation where they are vulnerable, they are killed, for lack of a better word. And then just who can the MEC, Chair, because one of the frustrations that we have in committees is that of the elongated period of the SIU process SIU process in terms of investigation. Just take us through the process of allegations, the implementation, the initiation, the allegations being tested, and then you take us through the investigative process, so that we don't spend time investigation and no outcomes in terms of the people the consequences, because we want to see consequences being implemented in terms of these triggers. I will park mine there, Chair, for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's allow the team to respond to the two honorable members, then we'll take the next group. Over to you, ma'am.
Chair, thank you. I don't know if my Chief Director would like to respond first, or if she would prefer me to respond. Dr. Kgetlengrivier?
Please do go ahead, Deirdre. If there's something you can't, then I'll take that.
No problem. Chair, thank you. And thank you to the honourable members for your questions. I hope I've summarised them correctly. To address the honourable member's first question regarding the whistleblowers, Chair, if I may just start with the final question where the honourable member asked why, if this started in 2017, it was only concluded now in 2025. Chair, if I may just refer back to the background or the introduction of my presentation, just for clarification, the investigation initially started as a tip-off from a whistleblower to the municipality, and the municipality themselves appointed the external service provider. It was only during that investigation that additional allegations came to the fore, and that the external service provider then approached province to see to what extent province could intervene. This was in and around April 2018. The 106 investigation was then initiated in July 2018, and it was concluded in March 2019. So, Honourable Member, I hope that answers your question. The investigation was not only concluded now in 2025, it was already concluded in March 2019, at which time the report was then handed into MEC Bradell, and certain of the recommendations were then referred and or implemented between province and the municipality. So, Honourable Member, I hope that answers that question of yours. With regards to the whistleblower, Honourable Member, unfortunately, I don't have the details regarding who the whistleblower was or the reasons that the person wanted to stay anonymous. This was obviously handled internally between the investigators and the municipality. This is not information that would have been shared with province. The different allegations that then came to the fore were as a result of numerous reports, not only from whistleblowers, some were internal staff members, as far as I believe from what I can tell from the report. And that's what then resulted in the 15 different allegations or additional allegations. The very first allegations, from what I understand, was from an anonymous whistleblower. Then, Honourable Member, you also indicated that perhaps external consultants can provide certain 106 best practices. Again, Chairperson, through you, some investigations, there are various reasons that investigations are delayed. It's not always within the constraints or within the power of the investigators. Many times documentation is not forthcoming, or some of the witnesses or whistleblowers cannot be traced or don't want to come forward anymore. So there are different challenges experienced, and all are unique to investigation. So, but Chairperson, Honourable Members, comments regarding best practices is noted, and it is definitely something that I think as a province and also as an investigative community, something we are considering. You will know, obviously, there's a lot of interaction currently between law enforcement agencies and the private sector, and knowledge sharing and information sharing between the two, further collaboration. It has been encouraged, and we're seeing progress as far as this is concerned. Chairperson, then if I can move on to the second honourable member's questions. Again, Chairperson, as indicated, the initial investigation was initiated through complainants directly to the municipality. The municipality then appointed an external forensic firm, And again, during that investigation, additional allegations came to light, and those allegations were then reported to province. Honourable Member, to just give you a bit of background with regards to how Section 106 investigation is then initiated. There's due process, thorough process that takes place. Allegations are assessed based on available evidence, where possible, witness statements and witness corroboration is conducted, and an assessment is then done in terms of the Western Capes Act, Section 5 of the Western Capes Act, which evidence is then put before Minister for his consideration if he believes that there are strong suspicions of fraud, theft, corruption, serious maladministration, or mismanagement. Then it is for Minister then to invoke his power in terms of Section 106 and designate certain investigators to conduct the investigation. In this case, 2 external service providers or 2 external investigators were designated by Minister Bredell, and they then conducted the investigation into the 15 allegations as covered in my presentation. Of those, well, let me say, Chairperson, through you, there were 16 phases of the investigation, 14 allegations altogether. And if I just look at my notes, there were 2 of those that were unsubstantiated. The others were substantiated. In terms of consequence management, where there were suspicions of criminal conduct, these were reported to SAPS. 2 criminal cases were registered and are currently still under investigation by the Hawks, by the DPCI, where certain officials and or councillors were found to have contravened internal policies, disciplinary action, recommendations regarding disciplinary action was referred to the municipality. The municipality then managed those recommendations. They appointed certain attorneys to handle those the disciplinary action in those cases. And Chairperson, also with regards to civil recovery, again, this is legislated in terms of the MFMA. These recommendations too were referred to the municipal council, and a decision was taken by council as to whether to pursue civil recovery and civil proceedings. Again, external attorneys were briefed by the municipality with regards to those recommendations. Then, Chairperson, again, Honourable Member just asked about whistleblower protection. We share concerns with the committee. We know this is something that South Africa is struggling with at the moment, the protection of our whistleblowers. There is, efforts are being made to strengthen our Protected Disclosures Act. Again, this is something where NGOs, private sector, public sector are attempting to collaborate and to see how we strengthen this. Unfortunately, Chairperson, this is not something that's within our investigative authority. It's a SAPS function, and we try as far as possible to keep the whistleblowers' names and their identity and protect all their personal information. They also have the choice on whether to stay anonymous or whether to come forward and provide us with their details. But yes, there are certain protections afforded to whistleblowers in terms of our Protected Disclosures Act. And then, Honourable Chairperson, you mentioned the SIU and the phases and their consequence management. Chair, unfortunately, this is not within my scope. This is a special investigating units, their mandate and their phases. So I unfortunately can't comment or answer any questions regarding what their processes are. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any additions from the Chief Director and the team? If not, let's continue with the next.
Sorry, Honourable Chair.
Yes, you can come in, Doctor.
Just in terms of the MM, I don't think at this stage we could really comment because it's a comment from our perspective. I think we would need to comment based on factual evidence with regard to that. So just in terms of the MM, the question on the MM, Mr. Ndlovu.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to the next members. Honourable Peter and Honourable Makasin.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Chair, I'll need your guidance if my ears serves me well. Honourable Chair, we need to go to the bottom of this investigation. Just for clarity purposes, who are these investigators? Mandated by whom? For what purposes? There was a motion presented for this investigation. My reason, Chair, to ask this question is just to have a fear not to find ourselves as this committee to be in a political trap. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Peter. Honourable Makasin.
Oh, thank you, Chair. Let me welcome the report. But my issue, I think Honourable Ceza covered me. I just wanted to check on Honourable Doctor. Maybe is there any plan of municipality to make follow-up to check the process or update on issue of investigation? Because if you check the history of this case, it started in 2016, and I don't think unless otherwise, these people, they are still in the system of the municipality or anywhere for recovery, because at the end of the day, I think we want to get financial recovery of what happened on the wrongdoings that had happened. So I wanted to check how normally, maybe when they get update from the investigators, both the municipality and the province, because we need to get whether the case is there any investigation, so that we avoid people being appointed to another municipality, then there is no follow-up. Lastly, Chair, the municipal manager applied, she did not disclose whether she was dismissing the previous municipality. What was the panel role? Because the panel, once they get an application, they do check those process about the person of investigation. Is there any mechanism that we are putting to those people who have appointed Mrs. Fuyelwa about his appointment? Because that woman, she didn't appoint herself, she was appointed, although she did not disclose. So I feel very strong, both penally, the panel and herself, they did injustice to the municipality. So I want to check what mechanism are they doing to those people who made sure they are appointed the former municipal manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's get responses on those two honourable members' questions.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, honourable members, for your questions. If I can address the first question with regarding to who investigates, how these were initiated, who mandates. Chairperson, the investigators were two external service providers, investigative forensic experts that were appointed. Initially, a forensic firm was appointed by the municipality. This was a forensic firm, whereas the two individuals were designated by MEC Bradell in their individual capacity, not as a forensic firm. The initial mandate or the appointment of the forensic firm, that appointment, the mandate and also the terms of reference would have been managed through the municipality and their internal processes. Chairperson, it is then through that initial investigation that these additional allegations came to light, and those additional allegations and the evidence available at that time were then presented to Minister Bradell and the department for assessment and consideration. That assessment then resulted in the invoking of Section 106 by Minister Bradell, and the then 15 allegations which then stemmed from that initial assessment. Those were, as I mentioned, 2 individual forensic investigators that were designated by Minister Bradal. Chair, I hope this answers the honourable member's question as to who investigated, who was initiated, and what mandate. Then, Chairperson, the second question with regards to the follow-up mechanisms. Chairperson, unfortunately, I can't answer for the municipalities' mechanisms that they currently have in place or that they had in place at the time. With regards to province, we do follow up. We do have certain mechanisms in place in terms of our constitutional mandate to monitor and support municipalities. Recommendations are shared with province. We then share these with council and also ask the municipalities to give us updates on occasion with regards to their internal processes, what checks and balances they have in place, and what they are doing from their side to implement the recommendations. So we do have mechanisms in place to follow up with municipalities. Again, Chairperson, we cannot go too far in issuing instruction or forcing municipalities to do certain things. Our role is also limited by legislation to a monitoring and support role. But yes, to answer honourable committee members' questions, we do have mechanisms in place to follow up. We also do follow up on civil recovery mechanisms that have been implemented and instituted by the municipality. And Chairperson, as I also mentioned, we do make the recommendations available to the AG and encourage the AG to consider some of these recommendations in their audits going forward. Then, Chairperson, in terms of the panel and the role that the panel played, again, Chairperson, one of the findings from the investigators was that there was maladministration and mismanagement in the HR department. Instructions with regards to the appointments of certain officials had come from councillors and were implemented at the municipality. I don't have the details of exactly who the panel members were that were responsible for the interview process of the MM. Chairperson, this would have been a council-led recruitment and selection process, given that it was appointment of the accounting officer. But what I do know from the report is that any officials and or councillors that were suspected of any misconduct and or any criminal conduct were reported to the SAPS as part of the recommendations and or referred to the municipality and the municipal council for the institution of disciplinary action. Chair, so that would have included those officials and or councillors found to have been responsible for any irregular appointments. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. The next members is Honourable Berenhorst and Honourable Muima. Thank you. In that order.
Chair, thank you very much. And let me also say thank you for the presentation by the department. It's much appreciated. I'm going to be very brief, Chair. I just wanted to ask, I was speaking directly to the last slide of the presentation, the consequence management. The department just mentioned that they do conduct follow-ups with the municipalities in cases like this. So in this specific case, I would just like to ask what are the latest updates they've received in their follow-ups with regards to the civil recovery at council and also any disciplinary actions taken by the council against any of the officials, and if they also then if they have received any feedback information from the Auditor General with regards to the findings and the recommendations made to AGSA. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honourable Mamang.
Thank you, Chairperson. Again, greetings to yourself and also honorable members and our guests on the platform. Chair, just the 3 areas that I want to converse with the team. The first one relates to just in terms of process. Whether the team, because the legislation obliges the MEC to submit a written statement to the National Council of Province within 14 days of initiating an investigation in terms of Section 106. I just wanted to ascertain from the team as to whether whether the National Council of Province was informed if that was it done in the 1st administration or was it done in the 6th administration? And whether this, because also the legislation says that the MEC must table a report of the investigation's outcome within 90 days. So I wanted to ascertain from the team when was the report, when was the investigation completed, and whether the National Council of Province was it informed after 90 days. I think you'll understand the reasons to why this question, because the initial investigation started in the 4th administration. And now we are in the 7th administration, but the presentation doesn't articulate those issues. The delay, why the delay? Was this investigation done in compliance with Section 106's timelines? But also what also further complicates the matter is the fact that since 2016 local government election, this municipality has been changing hands in terms of coalition-led leadership. And as a result thereof, it therefore makes a call to the select committee to be a bit cautious in terms of the work that is being done, particularly when there is a report around whistleblowing. It might need the select committee to do more work to be able to locate the context within which this report is made. That is the point that I wanted to raise, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Whip. Let's request the team to respond.
Chair, thank you very much. And once again, honourable members, thank you for your questions. I will try and answer them to the best of my ability. Honourable member, with regards to our last slide, if I can maybe just go back up, Chairperson, and then yes, with regards to what the municipality, apologies, what province does in terms of follow-up and the latest updates. Chairperson, the latest update with regards to the criminal action is that the matter is still under investigation by the Hawks. The last correspondence we received from the municipality, unfortunately, I don't have all of that information at hand with me at the moment, but from what I determined was that civil recovery processes had been initiated and that the attorneys were busy with some of those processes. Not all processes were possible. given decisions taken by council. Again, honourable members, apologies, but I don't have that exact information at hand with me at the moment. It is something that we can collate for the committee and provide to the committee at a later stage. With regards to the disciplinary action, honourable member, same comments from my side. The disciplinary action was also undertaken by external attorney firms. According to the last feedback that we received, these processes had been initiated and were being managed for those officials that were still at the municipality. I believe many of them had resigned or were in the process of resigning or leaving council. But again, Chair, unfortunately, I don't have all of that information at hand with me right now. With regards to the information to the AG, Chair, we do have frequent meetings with the AG, and we also have an MOU in place where we discuss recommendations from various matters regarding these kind of investigations and some of the control recommendations that we observe at municipalities. Again, for this specific 106, Chairperson, I can't comment on what the outcome was from the recommendations referred to the AG, but I can say that the AG takes a lot of our recommendation to heart, and that these do form the basis of many of the audits undertaken at the municipalities during the annual audits by the AG. Chairperson, and then with regards to the second honourable member's questions, again, Chairperson, I just want to stress that the investigation, the 106 investigation, was initiated in July 2018, and the investigation was subsequently completed and concluded by March 2019. I cannot comment on any delays or any previous reports that were made in the 4th, 5th, or 6th administration with regards to this specific investigation. I can only provide the members with information on the report and the presentation in front of me for now. We would need to just go and have a look at our records to determine what was previously reported to the NCOP and at what time, and specifically in terms of this investigation, Chairperson. Again, that is information that we can obtain and make available to the committee at a later date. Chairperson, again, the compliance with Section 106 and again, comments regarding the coalition-led leadership from 2016 at the municipality. Chair, again, that's unfortunately not something that's within my scope or my knowledge, so I can't comment on any of honourable members' comments around that. I do believe that, as honourable member pointed out, the standing committee should be conscious of the work that is undertaken and the 106 findings and the recommendation, specifically as far as these relate to whistleblowers. And I think any influence with regards to the protection of whistleblowers that we can have, we should try. It's definitely something that all societies and industries can contribute on. Again, Chairperson, the context within which the report was made, again, Chair, it was, as mentioned and as presented, allegations that were reported to the external investigators. The allegations and the available evidence at that stage was assessed, and Minister Bradell had determined that there was sufficient evidence and sufficient suspicion to warrant further investigation, thus invoking Section 106. And that was again during July 2018. I can't comment on any other context within which the investigation was initiated at that time, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's check. Honorable Ceza, is that a follow-up?
Yes, Chair. I'm writing notes. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm writing notes here, as you can see. The first comment was relating to the SIU process, which the presenter could not answer to, and gave some periodization about the investigative process, which I've initially asked from 2017 to 2019, not 2025. And then now I'm hearing that the investigation began in July 2018 to March 2019. What happened to 2017 that you initially spoke of? Can you explain? Because, Chair, I'm often hearing that there's no information. And I think that the MEC would have been best placed to can ascertain these issues if he was here, because not only was the SIU process not able to be ascertained, there are many issues of disciplinary action that the MEC could have placed on record, and many other issues pertaining to that. I could have been satisfied with facts in terms of how you are actually ensuring that, because I do not think we must come to this platform that is a public platform and divulge any whistleblower, because now we are making that whistleblower vulnerable. And which process, particularly that are geared towards ensuring that if a person is coming to you with this information, is actually automatically protected. The information itself, not only the person, is actually protected in terms of its intelligence status, because that cannot be found in public. And if it's found in public, then that person, unless that person has published that particular expose, it's something else. But if a person wants to remain anonymous, how do you ensure that his information does not get leaked in public? And we are still worried about the process of investigation, and perhaps the MEC could have done that if she was here, to actually ascertain as to why these processes, how is she ensuring that these processes within the department are exhausted expeditiously than outside. Because I know in Mpumalanga that a certain MEC was processed within the of basic education, was processed through the whistleblowers within a process of a department, rather than this thing of waiting for a longer process, so that we can get to the finality of the matters and consequence management, and therefore a movement towards accountability and all that. So that's my piece, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Ceza. I think there were questions that the team was unable to respond to. We'll need to give them an opportunity to go back and verify that information. But secondly, looking at the disciplinary guidelines and regulations, they'll need to go back and check, because if you look at the period in which some of the charges or allegations were raised, they would have required that the council have approved the extension for such investigations. if all that was conducted as guided by the disciplinary regulations, so that we do not find a situation whereby when some of the alleged people, they go to court and they win the cases on the basis of the constitutional principle, which says justice delayed is justice denied. Because if we are not careful on those bases, people may even go to court and litigate the entities that have put them into such trouble. So we need to ascertain all that so that we do not find, or the department needs to do that, we do not find the department and the municipalities having breached the legislative framework that guides what needs to be done, including the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the Republic. But lastly, on my part, I think it's a worrying matter that if you look at all these allegations, they are indicating that there are no early warning systems that exist to prevent such incidents in those municipalities. So it's a worrying factor, including what the recruitment process would have been conducted to prevent such a recruitment of a person who has got a dark cloud hanging on her head or shoulders. So we need to be, the COGTA in the province need to be supporting the municipality to put such early warning systems and the risk management to mitigate all these challenges to prevent them in the near future, so that there is no recurrence of such in the near future. That is my comment, but let me allow the team to respond. Thank you.
CD, would you like to comment on preventative measures before I comment on anything regarding whistleblowers?
So can I just please apologize to the committee? Unfortunately, we're in a meeting venue, so it's a bit loud. I'd just like to go back to the first slide in terms of the delay. Obviously, this is a very old case. It came to us after 2017, and it was initiated in the municipality. And the municipality approached province, and province followed due process, as indicated on the first slide. So obviously, we would want to use internal investigators, but it hasn't been for the past, I think, the year or two now that we've been building internal capacity. And to get investigators internally, it takes quite a lot to get the funding for it, to get the staff establishment for it, and that's exactly what we've been trying to do. And I think since then, we've been able to really build our capacity internally. And currently, we are able to actually send out internal investigators to go and do the investigations. I also just want to comment in terms of the early warning. We've got very stringent processes in place with regard to the Section 56 and MM appointments. And if any additional information is required with regard to the coalition government as well as the MMs in that period, the committee is welcome to write to the NEC. We are welcome to give you the information. It just sits in another unit, and it was not part of this specific investigation, as Deirdre has indicated. But more information, we are more than welcome to share more information with yourselves if there are additional questions that you need from us. Apologies, Chair, again for the noise.
Chair, thank you. And if I may just add to Honourable Member's first question regarding the SIU process. Chair, and I apologise if I misunderstood the comment. I understand from Honourable Member that the committee is trying to ascertain how do we, as a province or as an internal investigative unit, try and speed up prolonged investigative processes? We are aware, obviously, of the matters that are currently with the SIU that are available in the public realm. We also understand that those investigations are quite lengthy. Again, very similar kind of investigations by other law enforcement agencies. These are not those kind of processes, unfortunately, are not within our control or our power, Chairperson. Our investigative processes are administrative, they're internal. We look at policies, regulations, and legislation that's been compromised or hasn't been complied with. We can only then make recommendations in terms of control weaknesses or control breakdowns, how to rectify these, how to ensure that these don't happen again. In terms of the criminal justice process, we are in the hands of the Justice Department. We issue affidavits and allegations. We make these reports to the police, and then it's out of our hands. We do follow up with the police to see where our investigations are. We do try and offer assistance where possible, where we can as a province and as a department. So we do from our side try and monitor and support where we can. Again, Chairperson, in terms of protecting whistleblowers, we do have stringent processes. We have disclosure processes where an individual can inform us whether they want to remain anonymous, whether they want to make a protected disclosure. That again is, there's a strict process, a legislative process in terms of the Protected Disclosures Act. Certain requirements have to also be fulfilled for a report to be considered a protected disclosure. So we comply 100% with those mechanisms in terms of that legislation. We also have certain internal protocols that we adhere to with regards to information and ensuring that this remains anonymous. We comply with POPI, with certain other information regulators and regulations and the protection thereof. So we do have very stringent processes when it comes to the protection of whistleblowers and the information that they report to us. Again, Chairperson, many of the allegations that come to us come from the municipalities themselves. So we are not always in direct contact with whistleblowers. It's often information that comes through third parties. So the municipalities also have their own, depending on each municipality, they do have policies and processes, and those are things that we also follow up on to ensure that there are policies, whistleblower policies and anti-fraud and corruption policies in place by municipalities. We monitor the implementation thereof, and that's also part of our proactive mechanisms where we ensure that these kind of proactive measures are in place, and as far as possible that they do actually trigger early warnings of any potential misconduct, mismanagement, maladministration, fraud, theft, corruption, or any other statutory non-compliance. So there are certain mechanisms in place. It's also dependent on each municipality. But Chairperson, yes, so I hope that answers honourable members' questions and also some of your comments, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the team for the presentation and the responses received. On the outstanding responses, we request that within 14 days, you give us in writing such responses, and we now put it to the committee to note the report. Is the report noted, members?
Chair, I'll move for the report to be noted.
Noted, Chair, with outstanding responses. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Noster, I couldn't hear you.
No, it's fine. I said I'll move for the report to be noted, Chair. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Chaza seconds you, but on the proviso that the outstanding issues will also be provided within 14 days to the committee. Thank you very much, Western Cape representatives led by the Chief Director and the team. We really appreciate your presence in this meeting, and we'll communicate through the submission of such outstanding information. Thank you very much. You are now released, but if you still want to be with us, you are also at liberty to remain with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson.
All right, thank you. Honourable members, we have received a response from the MEC, which I've shared with you through our WhatsApp group page, and the photos which are the evidence that the MEC is unable to take a call to be with us. As a result, he is still busy with the victims and the rescue units to look for other victims of the floods. So missing people in the province. So I now put it to you because the HOD is here. She's here. Maybe we can take her presentation where we feel that the MEC will have to respond. Then we can try and look for a space for the MEC. But let's take a presentation, if you agree, from the HOD. I don't know if members will agree with that.
Agreed.
Agreed, Chair. I can't raise my hand, Chair. I'm disadvantaged.
Yeah, I know. We know that you have a difficulty. We note that. Members, can we take a presentation, then we'll further engage the MEC? Is that agreed?
Chairperson?
Yes, Honorable Skirkwaka.
I just want to find out how is this then going to proceed if we don't have the MEC, and when will he then come? You know, I hear what we are trying to do and get the presentation, but when will we have the MEC then to respond to these questions? I just wonder how. Yeah, that's just my question on logistics. How are we going to proceed if most of the questions that are going to be pertinent to him to be answered?
We can do it in twofold. Firstly, we can request the MEC to avail himself for an emergency meeting. If it's not possible, we can forward those questions in writing after we have received the presentation, and we request the MEC to respond to those questions. So it can be done in twofold.
Chair?
Yes?
I guess that was supposed to be done. When they were checking whether he can come, they've heard what we were saying.
The only one who's not seeing your face, Honorable Zimande.
Okay, I'm saying we have.
Now we can see you. Can confirm that you are not a robot. It's you.
We have raised the matter, and I hope the HOD, as she was communicating with the MEC, ought to have indicated that there are two options that we're considering. That we will deal with the matter at his earliest convenience, probably, obviously, not later than the end of this week. And secondly, is that he either come and make a presentation where possible we will ask questions. It seems the other part was not checked. The only one that is checked is his availability for now and today. Now, the problem is that you need the MEC because this is falling squarely in his province office. I'm talking about the competence where really must account or talk to these matters of legislative application, not the HOD. The HOD is just an administrative arm. So my proposal is that it still stands that it will be really not proper and not principle of us to always bend backward depending who is before us. We have done the same to Western Cape. I think we should be doing the same to KwaZulu-Natal. So I'm just simply suggesting, Chairperson, that if really the MEC is not available, like he's saying, and presented the evidence, let him tell, even it can be late, today or tomorrow, Thursday or Friday. We can have a special sitting just to consider the area of his competence. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Maybe let's work on it with the MEC and check his availability, and we'll give an indication to members when the MEC will be available to engage with us, because really for today, even to initiate our request for him to try and join, it was impossible. So let's work on his availability for this purpose. I'm aware that there are meetings tomorrow. Whatever we suggest, it may require that members avail themselves for a 7:30 meeting early in the morning before other engagement starts. So members will have to be making themselves available as soon as we give an indication as to when can we meet the MEC, including the option that you have suggested, Honorable Nzimande, of the evenings. We can meet even at 10 in the evening if it's really forces us to do that. Those who have worked in COGTA, they know that COGTA used to meet up until 5 a.m., which we resisted in eThekwini when they wanted us to meet up until 5 a.m. or Honorable Ceza. But it's fine. Let's work on it, members, so that we can continue engaging the MEC, but it should be before the end of this year, because we do not want it to be delayed further, where municipalities will be affected. So is that agreed?
That is fair, Chair. We can agree on that because, Chair, there are specific questions that should be, addressed by. We agree.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Let's work on it. Then we'll give an indication to members. Honourable members, we are now moving to the next item, which is the consideration of the two reports. If you recall our visit to Northwest Province, I'll request Mr. Manele to beam those reports and take us through. I'm sure you have received the copies on time. We have considered what needs to be done in terms of if there are corrections or if there are things which you feel that are left out. We'll give you that opportunity. Mr. Manele?
oversight visit.
Yes, that oversight visit reports. Chairperson, my apology. Chair, we will first start by sharing the oversight visit reports to Madibeng Local Municipality. Then we would conclude with the second one of Kgetlengrivier Local Municipality. With your permission, we'll ask Hypo just to share the report, Chair.
Thank you.
Chair, while Hypo is trying to share the report, suffice to say in an introduction, Chair, okay, we are here, Chair. Chair, I would like to get your direction as to whether should I read the entire report or I must zoom straight to a section dealing with observations and recommendations.
Yeah, I think observations and recommendations would be key for consideration. I'm sure members have gone through the body of the report.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, just in a sort of background to say the observation is a combination of the input of the stakeholders and the inputs of the members with regard to the issues raised during the oversight visit to Madibeng Local Municipality. Hypo, can you just go straight to the section that deals with observation, please? Yes, thank you. Honorable members, without any waste of time, the observation section is an acknowledgement that the MEC of Kgetlengrivier in Northwest instituted forensic investigation in Madibeng Local Municipality, which was issued on the 15th July 2025, pursuant to the request by the Minister of Kgetlengrivier in terms of Section 1064 of the Municipal System Act. 28.2, that the minister request was motivated by the referral of the complainant by the whistleblower in terms of Protected Disclosure Act of 2000, wherein the allegation of acts of maladministration, wrongdoing were made against the municipal officials and related persons, ranging from transgression of supply chain management issues, alleged fraudulent activities, and failure by the council and its governance structures to process compliance in items as prescribed by the law. 28.3, pursuant to the receipt of the referral by the minister, the Select Committee has noted that the MEC of Kgetlengrivier in Northwest tabled the notices of intervention in terms of Section 106 of the Local Government Municipal System Act to the Chairperson of National Council of Provinces and formally communicated to the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Kgetlengrivier as per the steps envisaged in Section 1063A and B of the Local Government Municipal System Act of 2000. 28.4, that the Select Committee has noted during the engagement of the chief whips of political parties that the designation of the investigators in the municipality on the 15th July 2025 was publicized through media platforms to alert the public particularly the residents of Madibeng Local Municipality, of the decision by the MEC of the Department of Culture to invoke Section 106 of the Municipal System Act. 28.5, that the Select Committee has noted also that on the 15th July 2025, the MEC of the Department of Culture formally convened a session with the councillors and management officials of Madibeng Local Municipality to advise of the invocation of Section 106, and the councillors and political leadership of the municipality expressed appreciation on the intervention which they indicated would bring about certainty on the veracity of various allegations of wrongdoing that have been hovering over the municipality. 28.6, noting that the MEC of Department of Culture has granted extension of 30 days to the investigator to complete investigation and present the report. The Select Committee has noted also that the local municipality is still facing challenges related to governance, service delivery, financial management, lack of accountability, lack of consequence management, administrative instability, absence of early warning systems, and non-tabling of Section 46 and Section 47 reports as required by Local Government Municipal System Act of 2000. 28.7, in terms of the opinion of the stakeholders, the Select Committee has noted the general concerns raised by internal and external stakeholders in relation to political interference, high vacancy rate at senior management level, lack of service delivery, use of private consultants, delays in completing projects, deadlocks with contractors, poor road infrastructure, and lack of employment opportunities for women, youth, and people with disability. 28.8, the Select Committee has noted with serious concern that the municipal manager, who is supposed to be a custodian of administrative integrity, has been suspended twice. The Select Committee has also noted with serious concern the shocking approval of 14 non-existent boreholes authorized by the Chief Financial Officer. The Select Committee is of the opinion that this constitutes financial misconduct and corruption as defined in Section 1721 of the Municipal Finance Management Act, which demands immediate investigation and consequence management. 28, the next page, IPO. The Select Committee has also noted that despite multiple indicators of council non-performance, the terms of reference do not explicitly frame oversight failure as primary focus area, limiting findings to maladministration, limiting the findings to maladministration, statutory obligation, and my apology, Chairperson. 28, limiting findings to maladministration, statutory obligation, and malpractice. The terms of reference emphasize irregular appointments limited to 2 ICT service providers, but omit scrutiny of recent senior management appointments. An example would be municipal manager and chief financial officer, both of which were challenged and rejected by organized labor and the MEC of Department of Culture. 28.11, the Select Committee has further noted that the Northwest Culture Department has failed to utilize annual reports, municipal system, Section 47 reports to proactively identify and address systematic governance risk, thereby missing opportunity to activate early Municipal System Act Section 105 support measures before invoking Section 106. 28.12, the Select Committee has also noted that the terms of reference highlight unprocessed internal forensic and audit reports, but it is unclear what systematic remedies will be enforced, especially since Council continues to resist tabling or responding to such reports despite legal obligation under the Municipal Finance Management Act and the System Act. 28.13, The Select Committee has also noted during the Brits water treatment upgrade project that initially Madibeng Section 106, my apology, Chairperson, Hypo, can you just go up so that there is a link? Honorable members, I'm trying to find out the section that I was before. Can you just go a little bit up, Hypo? My apology, honorable members. The Select Committee has noted during the site visit to Kgetlengrivier water treatment plant that the contractor appointed to the project abandoned the site following a dispute with the municipality related to contract amount after the contract had been entered into. The contract was subsequently terminated, and the procurement process therefore had to be restarted to appoint a new contractor. Now, this section 29, honorable members, based on the observation made above, it deals with the actual recommendation, which is also, it is the incorporation of the submissions made by the members of the Select Committee. Having conducted oversight visit and engaged with the chief whips of political parties, internal and external stakeholders on the procedural and substantive matters related to invocation of Section 106, the Select Committee recommends to the National Council of Provinces as follows. 29.1.1, that the National Council of Provinces notes the invocation of Section 106 of the Local Government Municipal System Act in Madibeng Local Municipality. 29.1.2, that the National Council of Provinces notes that 90 days period of investigation by the investigator has already lapsed, and the MEC of COCTA has granted 30 days extension for the completion of investigation and tabling of the report in terms of the requirements of Section 106 of the Municipal System Act. 29.1.3, that the MEC of Northwest COCTA should immediately, once the investigation has been completed, once the investigator has completed the investigation, table the report to the Municipal Council, the National Council of Provinces, as well as the Northwest Provincial Legislature. That in line with the commitments and resolution made during the 2025 local government Indaba, the Northwest Provincial Department of COCTA, the Bujanala District Municipality, and Madibeng Local Municipality should, in a spirit of cooperative governance and intergovernmental relations, develop municipal action plan to deal with the findings and recommendations emanating from the report on forensic investigation conducted in terms of Section 106 of the Local Government Municipal System Act. Honorable Member, just to give a background on this one, members will recall during your participation during the local government in Durban, there was a commission that was chaired by the Special Investigation Unit. And one of the recommendations made and emphasis was a need for collaboration between the province, the district, and the municipality to ensure the implementation of findings and recommendations emanating from forensic investigation. And within that spirit, this recommendation is crafted within that context, honorable members. 29.5, that the Northwest MEC of Department of COCTA should, within 21 days after the adoption of this report by the National Council of Provinces, table previous forensic investigation reports in terms of Section 106 of the Local Government Municipal System Act to the Municipal Council of Madibeng and the National Council of Provinces, as well as the Northwest Provincial Legislature. 29.1.6, that the Northwest MEC Department of Culture should, as part of executive accountability and legislative compliance, table Section 47 report to the National Council of Provinces as per requirement of the Local Government Municipal System Act. Last one, honorable members, that the Select Committee on Culture or Select Committee on Corporate Governance and Public Administration should, during the 2026 parliamentary second term, conduct post-intervention impact assessment on the implementation of the findings and recommendations emanating from the report conducted in terms of Section 106 of the Local Government Municipal System Act of 2000 in Madibeng. Chairperson, let me pause there and thank you very much for the opportunity given.
Thank you, Mr. Manele. Honorable members, can we get your comments before we adopt the report, if it's a true reflection of our deliberations? If there are no comments, you can get them over.
Chair,
Is Honorable Skirkoker?
I guess I move an Honorable Barton or second.
Okay, thank you very much. The report is duly adopted as a true reflection of our deliberations. We can move to the second report, Mr. Manel.
Ipo, would you please share the second report, please? Okay, well, Ipo is trying to download just on the background on the observation. The observation recognized the fact that Section 139, subsection 5 in Kgetlengrivier Local Municipality was tabled to the then chairperson of NCOP by the then MEC of Department of Culture Chair. Just a background with regard to that observation, honorable members. Okay, thank you, Wipo. Just go up. Yes, under observation, please. Thank you, Wipo. 15.1, honorable members, as noted that the Select Committee has noted that the then Northwest MEC of Department of Culture had, during the 6th administration, tabled on the 23rd July 2023, a mandatory notice of intervention in terms of Section 139, Section 135, subsection 5 of the Constitution, read together with Section 139 of the Municipal Finance Management Act and Section 154(1) of the Constitution, notifying the then chairperson of NCOP of the decision of the Provincial Executive Council to intervene in Kgetlengrivier Local Municipality. 15.2, the Select Committee has also noted that the triggers that necessitated the invocation of mandatory intervention in the local municipality in terms of Section 138 and 140 of the Municipal Finance Management Act include A, a failure to make payments to creditors as and when due. B, outstanding creditors balance exceeding the threshold of 2% of the municipal budgeted operating expenditure as per Municipal Finance Management Act. 15.3, the Select Committee has, during the oversight visit, noted with serious concern the state of local municipality in terms of ineffectiveness of Section 139, non-compliance with timeframes lack of credible monitoring framework, lack of measurable outcomes in roads maintenance, solid waste management, cemetery services, pothole reading roads, lack of comprehensive road infrastructure, recovery plan, lack of accountability for underperforming contractors, operating without sufficient compactor trucks, unlicensed landfill sites, unchecked illegal dumping across Derby and Costa, a lack of development of regional landfill site, dependency on private contractors. 15.4, the Select Committee has, during the engagement with the chief whips of political parties, noted with great concern that the implementation of the financial recovery plan by the appointed administrator has not yielded positive results as required by Section 1395 and 154 of the Constitution, as well as the terms of reference of the appointed administrator by the provincial treasurer. 15.5, the Select Committee has noted that the major challenge facing the local municipality, which impact on capability to implement financial recovery plan, include filling of vacant critical senior management positions, more especially of the municipal manager, chief financial officer, directors of corporate services, technical services, infrastructure, as well as risk and supply chain managers. 15.6, in terms of service delivery, the Select Committee welcomed the completion of the RDP housing project. However, noted that the local municipality is still facing challenges related to aging infrastructure, road construction, potholes, water losses, and poor revenue collection. 15.7, the Select Committee has noted during the oversight visit with great concern about the absence of the appointed administrator by the provincial treasury for the implementation of the financial recovery plan in the local municipality. Lack of communication with the council, lack of political and administrative will, collapse of service delivery and bulk infrastructure, lack of evidence on the implementation of the financial recovery plan. 15.8, despite the above-mentioned institutional capability and service delivery challenges, the Select Committee has, however, noted the progress reported by the local municipality in terms of dealing with the major government creditors, an example, Eskom, SARS, Magalies Water, and AG, and other private sector creditors, setting up of a structure and functionality of the cash management committee, establishment of the financial recovery plan work streams, and financial recovery plan technical steering committee, ensuring the functionality of MPEC committees, establishment of the Financial Recovery Plan Political Oversight Committee, updating of UIFW registers, which have led to write-off of unauthorized, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure for the financial year 2018/19, 2023/2024. This one, all members deals with recommendation that having conducted that post-intervention impact assessment on the implementation of Section 139 of the Constitution in Kgetlengrivier Local Municipality, the Select Committee recommends to the National Council of Provinces as follows. 16.1.1, that the NCOP approves the notes, my apology, honorable members, notes the invocation of Section 1395 of the Constitution in Kgetlengrivier Local Municipality, read together with Section 139 of the Municipal Finance Management Act and Section 154 of the Constitution. 16.1.2, that the Northwest MEC of Provincial Treasury, in collaboration with the MEC of COCTA, should provide the Northwest Provincial Legislature, the local municipality, and National Council of Provinces with time frames, terms of references, qualification of the appointed administrator, quarterly report, and exit termination report on the invocation of Section 1395 of the Constitution in Kgetlengrivier Local Municipality. 16.3, that the MEC Northwest Provincial Treasury should, in collaboration with the MEC of COCTA and South African Local Government Association should monitor the implementation of the Financial Recovery Plan. 16.1.4, that the MEC Northwest Provincial Treasury, in collaboration with MEC of COGTA, should engage the National Treasury and the Minister of Department of Corporate Governance and Traditional Affairs to facilitate the payments owed to municipalities by a government department. 16.1.5, that the Northwest MEC of Department of COGTA, in collaboration with South African Local Government Association, should provide support in terms of Section 154 of the Constitution to enable the local municipality to fast-track the process of filling critical vacant positions of the municipal manager, chief financial officer, directors of corporate services, technical services, infrastructure, risk and supply chain managers. 16.1.6, that the Northwest MEC of the Department of COGTA should fast-track the process of tabling Section 47 report to the National Council of Provinces as per requirement of the Local Government Municipal System Act. 16. My apologies will correct this one, all of my members. 16.1.7, that the mayor of Kgetlengrivier Local Municipality should, within 21 days after the NCOP adopted the report, this report provide the Select Committee on Corporate Governance and Public Administration with the list of projects and expenditures, as well as money spent on the appointment of the administrator and consultants. The last one, that as part of ensuring executive accountability and performing oversight, the Select Committee on Corporate Governance and Public Administration should, during the 2026 parliamentary first term, schedule engagement session with the Northwest MEC of Provincial Treasury and the appointed administrator to consider progress report on the implementation of Financial Recovery Plan in terms of Section 1395 of the Constitution in Kgetlengrivier Local Municipality. Chairperson, thank you very much for the opportunity given again.
Thank you, Mr. Manele. I hope that will clean the report after the adoption, because the first observations, we said Section 135 instead of Section 139.
Noted, Chairperson.
Yeah, so members, can we welcome your contributions or the adoption if you agree that this is a true reflection of our deliberations?
Yes, indeed, it's a true reflection. I support
Thank you, Honorable Peter. Honorable Peter moves.
Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. The report is duly adopted. Honorable Peter moved, Honorable Zimande, Honorable Molokome supported. Thank you. This brings us to the end of this section of our agenda. We are now going to consider the minutes. Let's move straight to the minutes, Mr. Manel.
While we are waiting for Hypo to share the minutes, just to say the minutes is a reflection of the decision that the committee took with regard to the deferral of the meeting that was scheduled with the KZN MEC and the MEC of Local Government, Environmental Affairs and Development Planning in Western Cape. It also captures the concerns raised by members and the decision that informed the concern of the members. And lastly, it is with the resolution of the committee chair with regard to the scheduling of the meeting. The resolution also captured what the chairperson reported on with regard to our public hearings that is scheduled on the 3rd of December 2025 on the object of the Public Service Commission Public Service Commission bill, Chair. I think that's the spirit of this minute, Chair. I've shared with members. Members can make comment. With your permission, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, you are correct. Honourable members, can we get some corrections if there are corrections? And the mover if we agree that this is the true reflection of our deliberations.
I move, Chair.
Honorable Mzimande move.
Yes.
Honorable, who seconded? Honorable Cesar? Who seconded?
Yeah, it's Honorable Cesar.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's lead us to the end of our deliberations, and we'll request that members expect our indication after we have interacted with the MEC for a follow-up meeting on the KZN matters. This brings us to an end of our deliberation. Honorable members, thank you very much. The meeting is formally adjourned till further notice. Amanda.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you.